Can we start now?
Approve.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya on a Saturday morning. Today, we have the privilege of having the association of His Grace, Srinidhi Govinda Prabhu. Today, he'll be taking the topic from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 19, and verse 6 will be covered today. Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Shanvatam Swakhatha Krishna Punyashravana Kirtanaha Hrudayantastoya Bhadrani Vidonati Savritsatam Tata Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayaschaye Chetayetir Anavidham Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Bhaktir Yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vidyanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nataya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. So, Hare Krishna. So, I invite everybody for the Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya this morning. So, we are discussing from the 5th canto, 19th chapter, and the 6th verse. Na vaisa atmatmavatam suhruttamaha saktastrilokyam bhagavan vasudevaha nastrikritam kashmalam ashnuvita na lakshmanam chapi vihatum arhati na न वै स आत्मात्मवतां सुहृत्तमः सक्तस्त्रिलोक्यं भगवान् वासुदेवः न स्त्रीकृतं कश्मलम् अश्नुविता न लक्ष्मणं चापि विहातुम् अर्हति न वै स आत्मात्मवतां सुहृत्तमः शक्तस्त्रिलोक्यं भगवान् वासुदेवः न स्त्रीकृतं कश्मलम् अश्नुविता न लक्ष्मणं चापि विहातुम् अर्हति. So word by word meaning, na, not, why, indeed, saha, he, Atma, the Supreme Personality, Supreme Soul, Atmavatam, of the self-realized souls, Suvruttamaha, the best friend, Shaktaha, attached, Trilokyam, to anything within three worlds, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudevaha, the all-pervading Lord, na, not, Strikritam, obtained because of his wife, Kashmalam, suffering of separation, Ashnavita, would obtain, na, not, Lakshmanam, his younger brother Lakshmana, cha, also, api, certainly, Vihatum, to give up, arhati, be able. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Since Lord Sri Ramachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, he is not attached to anything in this material world. He is the most beloved super soul of all self-realized souls. And he is their very intimate friend. He is full of all opulences. Therefore, he could not possibly have suffered because of separation from his wife, nor could he have given up his wife and Lakshmana, his younger brother. To give up either would have been absolutely impossible. The purport. In defining the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we say that he is full of six opulences: wealth, fame, strength, influence, beauty, and renunciation. He is called renounced because he is not attached to anything in this material world. He is specifically attached to the spiritual world and living entities there. The affairs of the material world takes place under the superintendence of the Durga Devi. Srushti, Shruti, Pralaya, Sadhana, Shakti, Rekha, Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bibharti Durga. Everything is going on under the strict rules and regulations of the material energy represented by Durga. Therefore, the Lord is completely detached and need not give attention to the material world. Sita Devi belongs to the spiritual world. Similarly, Lord Lakshmana, Ramachandra's younger brother, is a manifestation of Sankarshana, and Lord Ramachandra himself, Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since the Lord is always spiritually qualified, he is attached to servants who always render transcendental loving service unto him. He is attached to the truth in life, not to Brahminical qualities. Indeed, he is never attached to any material qualities. Although he is a super soul of all living entities, he is specifically manifest to those who are self realized, and he is especially dear to the hearts of his transcendental devotees. Because Lord Ramachandra descended to teach human society how dutiful a king should be, he apparently gave up the company of Mother Sita and Lakshmana. Factually, however, he could not given them up. One should therefore learn about the activities of Lord Ramachandra from a realized soul. Then one can understand the transcendental activities of the Lord. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा माह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमावो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जगताकस्वामिति नाम्ने नमः आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपाप्रदायिने घोरगदाधमदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुर्लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपापमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। नमैष आत्मात्मवतां सुहृत्तं महा सक्तस्त्रिलोक्यं भगवान् वासुदेवः न स्त्रीकृतं कश्मलम् अश्नुविता न लक्ष्मणं चापि विहातुमर्हति। Since Lord Ramachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, he is not attached to anything in this material world. He is the most beloved super soul of all self-realized souls, and he is their very intimate friend. He is full of all opulences, therefore he could not possibly have suffered because of separation from his wife, nor could he have given up his wife and Lakshmana, his younger brother. To give up either would have been absolutely impossible. So, Hare Krishna. See, here we are seeing over in this chapter, which is entitled The Island of Jambudvipa, and the discussion of Vedic cosmology is going on. We can see there are different varshas in this Bhumandala, and we have been discussing that since many chapters and many verses. So we have been discussing on different varshas and who is worshipping whom in different varshas. And there is a special focus on Jambudvipa since the last chapter. So, before that, we discuss some other dvipas as well. Since last chapter, we have been discussing Jambudvipa. There are various varshas within Jambudvipa, and many speakers have already spoken about the whole cosmology, how the whole material universe is arranged. So, how all the dvipas are arranged and how the varshas are arranged within the dvipas in this material world. So we are seeing here presently, we are focusing on Kim Purusha Varsa, where predominating deity Lord Ramachandra and the predominating worshipper, none other than the greatest devotee of Ramachandra, is Hanuman, who along with others is glorifying Lord with all these prayers. While we are discussing since few verses, and we are on the sixth verse, Hanuman has started glorifying the supreme position of the worshipable Sri Ramachandra. So today, this verse particularly pertains to Lord Hanumanji's glorification about Lord Ramachandra's duties in this material world, how he was attached. So Vedic literatures explains to us that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead, and he expand into different portions and plenary portions and portions of plenary portions. Plenary means full, and Lord Ramachandra is one of the plenary portion or expansions of Krishna. And when Rama is appeared, he came he came with Lakshman, who is also in the same category of Vishnu Tattva. All of them, basically Bharata, Shatrughna, and all forms are expansions of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they appeared as sons of Maharaj Dasharatha. And there are so many pastimes you can see in Ramayana, Leelas, Rama Leelas. Lord Rama and particularly his brothers and Sita Devi and Father Dasharatha, they all exhibited an ideal character. Even mothers, all the three mothers, exhibited an ideal character and behavior. So Krishna is basically known as Leela Purushottam and Rama is Maryada Purushottam because he showed ideal behavior. He accepted limits that are appropriate for human being. And also he appeared like a human being because like you can see in Hiranyakashipu's case, not outside, not inside, not by any weapon, that there's so many conditions that he had put and took a boon from Brahma. Here, Ravana, the great powerful demon, he received also many boons. Boons. He received various boons, but he did not think that his boons could have been immortal, that no one could kill him. So, in Ravana's case, Ravana also took so many boons. He covered all different types of agents like death, like gods, animals, and so on. But he was so proud of his poise, he did not even ask for a boon of not being killed by a human being because it was totally out of a question for him. He thought, he was very powerful, no man could kill him. So, therefore, Ramachandra appeared as a man, human being, in the human society to keep the boon intact for Ravana, and at the same time kill Ravana. But although Rama is Krishna or Vasudeva and Lakshman is Balaram or Sankarshana, there is difference. Although there are some tattva, but there is a difference in rasa. You can see Krishna played in different rasa. So in Rama, in case of Rama, we can have a relationship only in the mood of servant. You can see his brothers; they were serving him. Hanuman serving him, Sugriva serving him. So there is an element of fraternal relationship, but it is mixed with the mood of being servant. And the same with Sita. Sita also, there is an element of Madhuri Rasa, but it is mixed in the mood of being servant. Whereas in Radha Krishna and Vrindavan, there is no such restraint or restriction. See, the love of residents of Vrindavan for Krishna is so intense that they forget Krishna is God. Therefore, they love him in complete intimacy. So there is a Madhuri Rasa, conjugal relationship between Krishna and Radha. There is a Vatsalya Rasa, parental relationship between Nanda and Krishna, Yashoda and Krishna. There is a Sakya Rasa, that fraternal relationship of different coward boys, friendly relationship. So this is a special gift, for from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He came specifically to bestow upon the fallen souls such intimate relationship with Krishna. Krishna came and demonstrated his intimate relationship with his devotees in Vrindavan, but he did not really distribute that love freely. So after he completed his pastimes, he thought, I did so many things, but I did not uh, uh, do the main thing. I didn't give this purest form of love. And therefore he thought I come again and give this sublime, intimate love. And therefore, there were many other reasons as well uh, in that mode. So Krishna came at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give that most intimate, pure love. And therefore, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are generally devotees of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And the worship of Radha, Rama, or Sita Ram, what we call, does not play a central role in worship of the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Rama is Krishna in truth. There have been devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who were devotees of Lord Ram, and their position was that they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Lord Ram, just like most of the devotees. Especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his form as Krishna to certain confidential devotees. We can see in Mahaprakash Leela. But these particular devotees, they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Ram only, which is true because Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and Ram is also Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he includes all other incarnations of God within Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the same Krishna, so he also includes all other incarnations. So one such devotee was, you could have heard, the younger brother of Rup and Sanatan was Anupam. So they were always speaking to him about the super excellent beauty of Krishna, but the sweetness of Radha and Krishna. But he was a devotee of Lord Ram. And they were encouraging him to give up that worship of Ram and accept worship of Krishna. And their arguments was so convincing, this Rup and Sanatan, though Anupam was considering those brothers were his gurus. So he decided that he would follow their advice one day. But that particular night he could not sleep because he could not conceive of giving up the worship of Lord Ram. But at the same time, he could not give up the instruction of Rup and Sanatan, his brothers. He decided that the only thing he can do is to give up his life because no other alternative was feasible. So in the morning, he explained his conclusion. Somehow, in due course of time, this message was received by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased that he had such a firm devotion to Lord Ram. So it is a fact that every soul, every living entity, that means every one of us has eternal relationship with particular form of Godhead in a particular mood or in a particular rasa. So that is fixed. We cannot change it. We need to just reveal it. We need to uncover it. See, another example in Chaitanya Leela is Murari Gupta. He was a physician. He was also a devotee of Lord Ram. He also was very attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to try to give up the worship of Lord Ram. But the same thing, he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He felt that he would die if he did. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said one day, you can stay among other devotees. You can stay in the association of my other devotees, no problem, but externally only. But you should follow the same mode of worship that they do. Uh, but internally, you should always keep the mood of devotion to Ram. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this instruction to Murari Gupta. And just as the other devotee of saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at times as Krishna or combined form of Radha and Krishna, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Ram. In another instance, in Ram Lila, it comes in Dandakaranya. He comes to Dandakaranya in Treta Yoga. These, there were sages in Dandakaranya. They were performing bhajan, devotional service. I think it is near Nasik. And we also have in Karnataka, in Kishkinda near Hampi, we have a lot of Ram Leelas have been performed there. And he came there. So, in fact, many pastimes of Lord Ramachandra happened near Nasik somewhere. So, all these rishis were in deep in meditation, and when Lord Ram was in exile. So he came to where their meditation was happening in the forest. They saw Lord. They were very attracted to him. They felt so attracted that just like the beautiful form of Lord Ram, and they wanted to have a relationship with Ram, with the Lord as lovers, the sages. But Lord Ramachandra blessed them that in this particular manifestation, I have taken a vow of accepting only one wife, Eka Patni Vrata. So I cannot accept you as my lover. But in Dwapara Yuga, when I come again as Krishna, I will accept you. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, a description of Rasa Leela when Krishna played upon his flute under the Vamsi Vata, that the tree by the Yamuna river, all the young gopis were attracted by the sound of the flute, Krishna's flute. Actually, Krishna's flute is one of the messengers or the duties, and the flute was sending them a message, please come and meet me in the forest. And each gopi thought that the message was exclusively meant for her. So each one felt, I must go immediately to Krishna. So he is calling me. But some of the gopis were prevented from leaving their homes because father was there, husband was there, so many elderly people were there. So they were under the care of the authority figures. So their fathers, husbands, mother-in-laws, they prevented them from going out of the house in the middle of the night or towards the middle of the night. But it is described that in their intense feeling of separation, they also met with the Lord. And the Lord, knowing their desire, entered their hearts and embraced them from within the heart. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur analyzes these different categories of gopis. There are Nitya Siddhas who are eternal associate of Krishna, and there are Sadhana Siddhas, devotees who become perfect by execution of devotional service. And there are special categories, the Shrutichari gopis they call, and they are personified Vedas. And this is a very intricate topic, the secret topic it mentions. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are different categories, special categories. They are also they also attained the form of gopis, and then Rishi Chari gopis. This is where they come. They were the rishis of Dandakaranya forest who were blessed by Ram, and when he came as Krishna, he would accept them. So certainly, Lord has a power to bless us if we have some desire to serve Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Prabhupada or our spiritual master. Whatever desire we have for service, even up to the desire of the rishis of Dandakaranya, Lord Ram can fulfill those desires if we approach him with that degree of sincerity and purity. So ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam explains all this in detail. So but in the fifth canto, what we are talking here, the beautiful prayers by Hanuman. In the material world, there are planets where the great devotees of the Lord reside with their followers. They leave their followers in the worship of beloved Ram. So I could remember one of the best pastimes when see the how he was the character of Ram. When he was then Kaikai was taken that two boons from Dasharatha, and he asked the boon when Ram is about to be coronated tomorrow morning as king of Ayodhya. She asked in the evening, night. Two boons. The Rama has to go to exile for 14 years and the Bharat has to be coronated. And he comes, Ram says to Kaikai, why you have to use these two boons? You would have told me, I would have gone to forest just like that, no problem. If Bharat is becoming a king, I would be very happy. See, that's one beautiful, character which touched me. And second thing, all the people of Ayodhya were so much into decorating the whole Ayodhya because Ram is going to be coronated tomorrow morning. And they were so affectionate to Ram. And that morning, this program did not take place. And they were so sad. Ram is going to exile. There's no point in living Ayodhya without Ram. So we will also go behind him. So they were all following Ram. And Ram was in Rath. And because lot of old people, they were limping and there were so many, some people were bleeding also. So Ram actually came down from the Rath and he was also walking. Ram, Lakshman, Sita were walking along with them. And at that particular time, there were some children were born and they were cursing him. What time you are born? This is not right. This is not the right time. Ram is leaving Ayodhya and you are born. They were cursing the kids, children, small child. Very, very difficult thing for the Ayodhya Vasis to live without Ram in Ayodhya. So these verses are really appropriate because they tell us that approaching Ramachandra, there is no bodily distinction. Anyone in any type of the body can approach him, Lord Ram, in that mood of devotion. There is no need of great authorities or penances to worship Lord. He accepts even a small service offered by a devotee. There's one story Prabhupada tells in Ramayana, Hanuman and squirrel. Although Ramayana relates to a story in related to squirrel, but when Prabhupada said, he said it as, that time accent was not, Prabhupada accent was not very difficult to understand. So Prabhupada is pretty early in early stages of, movement. It was a squirrel. They have taken it as a spider or something like that. The story was passed on down to ISKCON. So uh, Hanuman was standing by the shore of the ocean and he was taking the huge boulders into the ocean to build the bridge to the Lanka. The boulders were floating and little spider was there. It's also flicking little grains and sand into the ocean. So Hanuman became very rough and he said, can't you see I'm throwing these huge boulders into the ocean? And what are you doing here? You're bringing little sand. Uh, Get out of my way, please move. And Lord Ramchandra heard this exchange, between squirrel and Hanuman. He intervened and said, Hanuman, that particular squirrel is serving me to his capacity, and you are serving me to your capacity. So in my eyes, both your services are same. You both are serving according to your capacity. And besides, I am the one who is making those boulders float. So why are you trying to take the credit? So yes, he accepts even a small service offered by his devotees. So Lord Ramachandra is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he is very easily satisfied by even a little service rendered by anyone, either human or not human. This is a special advantage of worshipping Lord Ramachandra. And there is a special advantage, even more special advantage of worshipping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Krishna and Lord Ramachandra, in a manner of Kshatriya, sometimes showed their mercy by killing different asuras. They were troubling a lot. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu awarded them love of Godhead without difficulty, without difficulty, even to the asuras. You could see there's so many Jagai and Madai and so many people. So all these incarnations of Supreme Lord, but especially Ramachandra, Krishna, and later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, delivered many of the living entities present before them. Indeed, almost all of them. See, even in Kurukshetra Yuddha, there's so many millions of people died in front of Krishna. They all went to Golok Vrindavan. So even they were in opposite party, they went to Golok Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is therefore represented in the six-armed form, Shadbhuja Murti. So this thing is there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is a combination of Lord Ramachandra, Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The best purpose of human life can be fulfilled by worshipping this Sadbhuja Murti, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the form of Lord with six arms. Two arms of Ramachandra, two arms of Krishna, and two arms of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this special form which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did manifest on occasion and in this form, so he has two hands, bow and arrow, another two hands he is having flute, and other two hands, danda and kamandala, the water pot. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested this form on occasion and this form. Um, and this form in its own way has a special significance. It's a very beautiful description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and much of it, uh, you know it already. There were many caste Brahmins who were upset with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip because he was performing Sankirtan. He was welcoming everyone regardless of caste and creed. And in his confidential kirtans at Srivas Pandit's home, that Mahaprakash Leela, you can see, he didn't allow anyone inside but devotees. But the only most pure devotees were, they were rich, they were poor, no problem, high caste, low caste, no problem. And one caste Brahmin was there, he got very angry with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he curses him. You will never be able to enjoy material happiness. He curses him like that. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he danced in ecstasy, literally in ecstasy. He said, I am liberated, I am liberated. And Srila Sridhar Swami, he explains the verse in relation to Lord Ramachandra. He gave up the opulence of Ayodhya. See, here, there are different personalities you can see. Bharat Maharaj's personality, he left everything and went to forest. Ambrish, he had so much of thing, he did not have any attachment at all to the kingdom. So Rama, he gave up the opulence of Ayodhya and following the order of, his father. We know that story. So, um, the same story that I just mentioned to you. So, in this context, that refers particularly that Maya deer comes and is Marichi comes in Maya Mrugam to charm Sita Devi, and that deer came and wandered off. Sita wanted it, and she asked Lord Ram, "Okay, I will bring it." Then Ravana came and kidnapped her. So I guess one final note, Lord Ramachandra was traveling in South India he would come to different places and take alms at different devotees' homes and take prasad. It's a very beautiful story. In South India, he came to one Brahmin, invited him to his home for prasad. And that Brahman was a great devotee of Lord Ram. And Mahaprabhu's usual time was noon. And time was passing, there was nothing until that late afternoon. So, in that late afternoon, that this particular Brahmin offered Mahaprabhu some fruits and berries and some roots. So the Brahman, who was a great devotee of Lord Ram, he was in the mood that Ram was in the forest after Sita had been kidnapped. So when he offered the plate to Mahaprabhu, he said, "I'm sorry, I'm just searching in the forest. This is all I could find," he was telling for the prasad. And he was in the morose mood, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, "Why are you so sad?" And he said, "The demon Ravana has kidnapped Sita. And just the thought he has touched Sita, it is breaking my heart." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Don't feel that way. Sita Devi is a spiritual energy. No ordinary soul can even see her. What to speak of touching her. So don't think like that." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to that Brahmana, Ravana could not even see her. Forget about touching her. So and Ravana and what Ravana took was the not the original Sita. It was a Maya Sita, the illusory representation of Sita. And that time Brahman was happy to hear that from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continues his travels. Then he comes to one of the temples. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discovers a manuscript from the Kurma Purana, not the whole Purana. They had some of the chapters there. In those particular chapters of Kurma Purana, it explains in detail that when Ravana came to kidnap Sita, the original Sita went to the earth, went to Agni, they call in some places. And what Ravana kidnapped was a Maya Sita, the illusory representation of Sita. And then uh, at the end of the battle, when Rama kills Ravana and Sita was delivered and she was tested in a fire, Agni, the original Sita came forth from the earth. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he read this, he thought that of the Brahmana where he had prasad. His name was Ramadasa Vipra. And he thought he could see how caring he was. How thoughtful he was for his devotee. Not even his devotee in a way that Ramadas Vipra, well, less devotee of Ram anyway. So he thought of that Brahman, and he thought, I want to take these pages back to him. So he took the permission of the pujaris or the mahats, whatever they call there, and they made a copy to keep in the temple. And he takes the original. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes the original to that Brahmana devotee, and he took it. And on the way back, he stopped at Ramdas Vipra's house, and he gave it to him in his hand. Those pages from Kurma Purana. Brahmana was so happy that all his lamentation was dispelled, and he prepared a wonderful feast for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on that particular day. So many beautiful narrations. So Lord Ramachandra, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself underwent serious tribulations, Lord Ramachandra underwent these austerities, um, of course, only to instruct us. Actually, he never has any reason to lament for anything. Another aspect of Lord's instructions is that one who accepts wife must be a faithful husband and give her full protection. So this is a message that Ramayana gives to us. Human society is divided into two classes of men. those who strictly follow the religious principles, and those who are devotees. And by his personal example, Lord Ramachandra wanted to instruct both of them how to fully adopt the discipline of religious system and how to be beloved and dutiful husband. Otherwise, he had no reasons to undergo these type of tribulations. One who strictly follows the religious principles must not neglect to provide all facilities for the complete protection of his wife. There may be some suffering because of this, and one must nevertheless endure it. This is a duty of faithful husband. By his perfect example, Lord Ramachandra demonstrated it. And Lord Ramachandra could have protected how hundreds and thousands of Sitas. He would have produced so many Sitas. But from just to show the duty of faithful husband, he not only rescued Sita from the hands of Ravana, but also killed Ravana and all the members of his family. So another aspect of teachings of Ramachandra is that although he is Lord Krishna or Vishnu or whatever, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, may apparently suffer from tribulations, they have nothing to do with these tribulations. They're all, see, even devotees have gone through tribulations, but they're all Mukta Purushas, liberated persons in all circumstances. So it is therefore said in Chaitanya Bhagavata, a Vaishnava is always firmly transcendent, situated in transcendental bliss because of the engagement in devotional service. When we engage in devotional service, automatically you will enjoy that bliss. So even though he suffers material pains, his position is called transcendental bliss, or in separation. So it's called Vipralamba Bhava, Viraha. The emotions of a lover and a beloved feel when they're separated from one another are actually very blissful, although apparently very painful. So here, the separation of Lord Ram from Sita, as well as the consequent tribulation they suffered, but another display of transcendental bliss. So there are, in the ninth canto, there are two particular chapters discuss about Ram Leela. So it is a lesson that a man who is attached to his wife, or a woman who is attached to her husband, when they're separated, it is really great suffering. In fact, this it's the greatest suffering in the material world, and no suffering can compare it. Unfortunately, today uh, I was actually working very close to that family court, and there are so many. It is full of divorce cases in family court. Very sad to see this. This was not happening in India before. That many people taking divorce was not happening. So they were slowly getting attached to the Western world. So um, there was a very nice letter Prabhupada has written to one of his disciple, that it's very long letter. See, Prabhupada's um, that particular disciple, um, he wanted to leave his wife in the name of taking sannyas, and Prabhupada quoted this particular verse from the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that one should not put others into difficulty, and one should not be put into difficulty by others. He writes in that, Yasmanna dvijate loko, lokanno dvijate chayaha, harsha marsha bhayodvegai mukto yas sachame priyaha. This verse particularly speaks, he by whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. He quotes this verse. This is also very important instruction, Prabhupada says. So he was telling the husband that you should not put your wife into difficulty by giving up your duty, but you also should not be put into difficulty by her. But actually, she is not putting into difficulty actually. So you are putting yourself into difficulty by not properly understanding Krishna consciousness. That it is not a situation that you are in that will make you happy or unhappy, but it's your own consciousness, it's your own execution of devotional service that will make you happy or unhappy. So it is a very instructive letter, very instructive letter, very informative letter. One must do one's duty. One cannot give up one's duty just because it is troublesome. And at the same time, tolerate. He mentions tolerate and be Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious. So there is another level which is a spiritual understanding of Lord Ram's separation from Sita. This is a subject matter, but we are going different places and coming back again. Actually, I thought of some sort of humorous before we go on to the next level. But this suffering, I just mentioned, when a boy and girl are very attached to each other, when they're separated, this is very painful. So Rama is a supreme personality of Godhead. He is firmly situated on this transcendental platform. His separation from Sita Devi demonstrating another realm of separation, which is not painful and material, but which is spiritual and blissful. This is called Viraha Bhava or Vipralamba Bhava or something like that we call. And this is not only the integral part of Krishna consciousness, but ironically or paradoxically, it is actually what makes Krishna conscious the most relishable. And that is a spiritual feeling of separation, the ecstatic feeling of separation. So, in order to feel the separations, you have to feel that attachment. It's very important. That is why in material relationship there is so much suffering when uh, separation happens. So in the material platform, you see, in the spiritual platform, when we begin to get attached to Krishna, then we can have feelings of separation from Krishna, or we can have feelings separation from even spiritual master. So then our spiritual progress is accelerated. Feelings of separations are tremendous impetus to spiritual progress. And it includes Krishna and his devotees. In fact, generally it begins with one's spiritual master or even the elevated devotees. One becomes attached to them, then one feels separations from them. And in order to, you could say, overcome those feelings of separations, one serves them. That is a process. That by serving a person, one is associated with that person. By following the instructions of spiritual master, one is associated with spiritual master. So, Srila Prabhupada dedicated his translation of Srimad Bhagavatam to his spiritual master. So he lives forever by his divine instructions. So the same way we live with Srila Prabhupada, we live with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we live with whole parampara, um, you know, six Goswamis, uh, by his books, by the service, by the separation. And this feeling of bliss in separations can be experienced. In 1968, one of the Prabhupada disciples, Uddhava Prabhu, he writes to Srila Prabhupada. And he was feeling separations from Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada writes back to him that you must follow my instructions. By following my instructions, the feeling of separation will transform into transcendental bliss. So these are the beautiful examples. I was reading one of the why I never heard why Ram actually gave up Lakshman. Towards the end of Ramayana, there was uh, Durvasa Muni comes to meet Ram. At that, what is the moment he came? Ram was in a private discussion with Kala, personification of time, who had come in disguise. Kala actually warns Rama. He said, no one should interrupt the meeting. If anyone enters unannounced, they must be punished with death. And actually, for that reason, Rama entrusted Lakshmana, the most trusted brother, uh, to guard, the door, not to allow anyone inside. And Durvasa came. Durvasa actually is very famous for cursing. But Lakshmana pleads with him to wait, but Durvasa threatens that I will curse Ayodhya and destroy all the royal dynasty. So what Lakshmana did was, anyway, it was ending up, the Ram Leela was ending up. Lakshmana chooses to step inside and breaking that condition. But after the meeting with Kala and Rama was very devastated, but he's a Maryada Purushottam, supreme example of righteousness. He cannot violate his word to uphold Dharma and keep his vow. He reluctantly decides to give up Lakshmana. So this is story comes. I don't know which Ramayana it is, but I was reading up yesterday, so I thought I'll bring this up. Giving up Lakshmana is as painful as giving up his own life, or even Sita. So, but I must uphold Dharma, he said. So after that, Lakshmana goes into a Sharyu river, and then he gives up his body and then goes back to his original place. He's Ananta Shesha, basically in Vaikunta. So there are so many leelas that you could come across. Even Sita went into Agni Pariksha, and she went into Bhumi, all these things. So because of the um, washerman telling he banishes Sita and all these things that we have heard in yesterday's class. So I think I will stop here. Anybody wants to add anything to this? I'll hand over it to you, Prabhu. If I can answer the questions, I will. If I cannot, I will request senior devotees who are here can answer. But I have tried my level best to justify for this Hanuman's prayer. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Haribol Prabhu, thank you for the really nectarian class again. I mean, it's not often we hear more about Lord Ramachandra, so the pastimes were even more relishing today. It was very nice. A few points I just noted down. I'll just let me read them out, and then before I just open it up for other devotees' realization and questions. You talked about in Ramayana, all the relationships are mixed with the mood of servitude, or servant one, which was very very nice. Which is huge takeaway for me. And then you also talked about. It's actually different from Krishna Leela and actually Mahaprabhu's distribution of Madhurya Rasa to everybody. But I mean, because we keep actually worshipping Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, so it's a very different thing. And he talked about every living entity has a constitutional position and attachment for a particular form of the Lord. It can never be changed and can only be revived, and you give examples of Murari Gupta and everybody where talking of in different forms how they worship him. And also the Rishi, the Rishichari gopis, that was news to me. I didn't know about it. It was called as Rishichari gopis. These are the sages of Dandakaranya who are very, very much mesmerized with the beauty of Lord Ramachandra. They become gopis and they participate in Krishna Leela. You also beautifully highlight the Ayodhya Vasis feeling intense separation of the Lord, that they were even cursing the newly born child because they were born at the wrong time of when actually Lord Rama was just leaving Ayodhya. Then you just talked about Lord Ram is very satisfied even by small services rendered and based on their capacity. So it gives a wonderful example of the squirrel and or Hanuman, how he was putting it, Hanuman, Bhakta Hanuman. And so the best form of worship is Lord Chaitanya because he has the Shadbhuja form. So he's Krishna himself and he's Lord Rama. And of course, Mahaprabhu is so merciful. So it's the best form to worship. And then you get a wonderful pastime of Ramdas Vipra pastime with Mahaprabhu, where he was just revealing the original pages from Kurma Purana, clarifying how it was for, uh, clarifying a particular aspect of question which he was having in terms of the separation the Lord felt. And then you just talk about the teachings which is coming from actually the pastimes of Rama is like how to be a dutiful and faithful husband and give complete protection to wife. And you also talked about how the Vaishnavas they normally are always liberated, though they may be bound with the material pangs, but they are liberated from it, and because they are in a transcendental bliss. So it was something very very nice to actually hear about that. And towards the end you just concluded that by just following guru's instructions we are actually we are in association with the guru, and that's very very important to understand, you said. And very very wonderful point, so thank you, Prabhu. So let me just now just unmute the lines for the devotees to ask questions or share the realization. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari. Thank you very much. You summarized the whole class. Very nice.
Hare Krishna, are you able to unmute the lines?
Yes, Prabhu. We can
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranams. Thanks so much for the wonderful class, Prabhu. It's always very nice to hear about Ramayana. Prabhu, from yesterday's class also I heard about abandoning Sita Devi. So I don't know how to understand, Prabhu. One hand, they say you must give full protection to wife. And on the other hand, just listening to some ignorant, envious people talking about the wives and abandoning is very painful, Prabhu. So, especially youngsters, Prabhu, they reject Ramayana because of this one instant only. So I had to tell some of the youngsters that no, it was Sita because of her unalloyed devotion and love to husband. She herself decided to go away. I don't know if it's correct or not, Prabhu. I had to convince them like that.
I
So,
didn't understand your question, Mataji, clearly, but once again you ask me because
yes, Prabhu. This is regarding Rama sending Sita to the Valmiki Rishi's
oh,
ashram.
that one, vanishing. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So,
Uh, Rama knew that Sita was very pure because he's a supreme personality of Godhead, and the Sita went to Ravan was a Maya Sita. She's not a original Sita, and Ram knew it very well. That is why when after the Ravana was killed, when Sita was about to be brought back, he said to Lakshmana to call Agni, and she has to enter into Agni. The only reason is that the original Sita comes out. So Ram knew about it completely, but the people of Ayodhya were not knowing about it, and he was a Maryada Purushottam, and he cannot go and explain, I did this Agni Pravesh, she did Agni Pravesh, she is not Maya, she's only Maya Sita and all. He did not tell anybody in Ayodhya. And some people were talking like Washerman and that this one all was talking, but he was very sure that she was what the went to Ravana took Maya Sita. He knows it, but only for the people because he was a Maryada Purushottam, and he had to take this decision to send Sita to forest. And he also knew that because he knew that there was a Valmiki Rishi is living in the forest. So he particularly instructs Lakshmana to take it to forest where Valmiki Rishi is living. So this was very clear. So he had internally made an arrangement that to leave her in forest is leave her into Rishi's house, Valmiki Rishi's house. because Valmiki Rishi also is a great devotee of Lord Ram. So, in that way, only devotees can understand this. So, but general people cannot understand this. So, if people cannot understand, you don't have to go and convince them and that this and all. So, it is not necessary to go and convince them. It is just leave it. If they don't want to become devotees of Lord Ram or Lord Krishna, just leave it. No problem. So you don't get into an argument with them. This is what I thought.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare
Hare Krishna, Srinidhi, Govinda Prabhu. Thank
Hare
you very
Krishna.
much for wonderful class, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
We really appreciate all the time whenever you are narrating.
I'm not an English class giver actually, so
No,
I
no,
usually
Prabhuji.
use.
The way you narrate, you bring the incidents before our eyes. So it's beautiful. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. So thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, can I add one comment, Prabhu, to what
Yes.
Mataji was asking?
Yes, Prabhu.
I heard in another lecture. So as you mentioned, Prabhuji, Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. He has different roles, like a husband, as a father, as a elder brother, as a son, and as a king. So among all these roles, because he is Maryada Purushottam, and he kept the role of the king at the topmost. So when there is a conflict between these two roles, he actually, because he wanted to set the role model as a how ideal king should be ruling. So he set that responsibility as the topmost among all other responsibilities. So as a king, as you mentioned, Prabhu, he has to let the entire country to know that Mother Sita is pure.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, again, he cannot go and tell that she is Maya Sita and all those things. So what is visible to common public is that Mother Sita is Mother Sita, and she wanted to demonstrate the purity of Mother Sita. And then later, when she came to Ayodhya, when somebody was commenting about Mother Sita's chastity, again he played the role of king, which is conflicting with other roles. So he kept that as topmost priority, and then he did his due diligence by sending Mother Sita to forest, because he considered that that's the topmost
Yes.
so that's what I hear, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's good.
Please
Good.
forgive me, Prabhu, if I overstepped.
No, no, it's a good point. Very good point, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. This
Hare
1 hour was very blissful and very like a smooth journey through Ramayana, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna. Thank you very much.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay.
I think everybody
the
is
class.
in the class, Prabhu.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय शिल प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai. Thank you for your association, and thanks devotees for just coming, in actually large numbers for this class.